Welcome to the Men on Purpose podcast, featuring dynamic conversations with emerging and established visionary men on purpose. Thanks for joining us today as we celebrate the men on purpose who are committed, creative, courageous changemakers, living their best, most fulfilling life possible. Now, here's the host of Men on Purpose, Ian Lobas.
Hey, everybody. Today on the Men on Purpose podcast, we have a special episode. As you can tell, I'm not Ian. I'm Ian's wife, Meredith, the brains behind the operation. We've received tons of calls and messages asking us about our lives together and how we do what we do successfully. Rather than interviewing a man on purpose, once a month, Ian and I are going to talk about being an entrepreneurial family on purpose, navigating and evolving in the world of marriage, family, and business together. In the last 10 years, we met, dated, got married, changed careers, welcomed 2 children, built successful businesses, had amazing successes, miserable failures, been close to walking away from each other, and everything in between. Things haven't been perfect, but that's not what we're living for. We are curious as to what is possible and what could be when we get past our own limitations. What we are seeking is to live the most purposeful life possible without constraint or restriction for ourselves and our family. On these special episodes, we are going to share our story, who we are, and how we have evolved over the years and navigated the world of family, marriage, and success together. Our hope is that you can take some of what we have learned at home to get to know your partners, your family, and most of all, yourself at a more serving level. We really appreciate all of you downloading episodes and supporting us through our growth and involvement of this podcast. Remember, people who are on purpose take action. So if you hear something today that resonates with you, reach out to us by going to our website, ianlobas.com/apply. Let's get to the episode.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Men on Purpose podcast. Today, Ian and I are going to be talking about progress over perfection. There's too much pressure to... Let's just...
No, it's fine.
Let's get to it.
Let's get rolling.
Here's our commitment. Our commitment is for you, our listeners, for ourselves, our family, our friends. Our commitment is to elevate, educate, empower, enrich, and evolve with every episode, with all of the information that we're talking about. Not just like reading it in a book and then putting it to the side.
Or putting it on this podcast.
Yeah. And not
working it through.
Not getting into action.
Yeah. We are the result of work, constant work, and application, knowledge, application,
right.
Failure, application, review, application.
Well, the application part of it took a while.
Does this look awkward?
What, you
holding the mic like
that? You can have the stand.
No. I got to order a new stand.
The application part is the hardest part, right?
Like taking action on the information, because that's the scary part.
Right. So you can read. I mean, Ian and I had this conversation at like the start of his journey. Our journey in growth and everything is like, you can, make a list of books and make a list of conferences and weekends that you want to go to and whatever. But if you're not doing anything about it, you're not, applying your knowledge, then it's
worthless. And you're actually, in my opinion, you're actually worse off because now you're aware and you're not doing anything. Yeah. Technically the brain is worse off in that capacity. When you don't know something that you don't know it. But when you know you didn't know it, or you now know what you didn't know, second stage of learning, you're kind of playing with fire a little bit.
Ian, tell us about the stages of learning.
Let's go into those later.
Okay.
They're complicated and yeah.
So the second stage is,
well, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
The next stage is you now know what you didn't know.
Right. And so that's kind of where we're talking about is when you haven't applied the things. And really you're just, it's like a facade. You're not actually making the commitment to personal development.
Right.
To personal development in any way. You're just, it's all an act.
Yeah.
Reading the books, going to the conferences.
It's what most people do. And listen, if you're going to go to any event, it should be our front runner events. And if you're going to go do any coaching, it should be with us and our personal performance mastery coaching program. I'm serious. And it's interesting because we have built these programs because of what we liked and also didn't like from other programs that we've taken, seminars, courses, masterminds we've been in. They all worked and they all had something that they were missing. Most of it is the personal development. Most of it is the personal performance. That's why our coaching business and our program is called Personal Performance Mastery, because if you don't master you're in everything that you do. You cannot level up if you are not leveled up inside and you're just leveling up the outside, the exterior, the skills on the outside. You're learning new accounting stuff and you're learning reading this book. But if you haven't cleared out the past and you haven't understood what your trauma is from, and you haven't understood the habits that you need to shed and the new skills and mindset that you need to adopt, you won't get traction in the capacity that you probably want it. And if you're looking for the slow go and you're just like a little tiny drip every year, maybe. But if you're looking to actually level yourself up and get to become who you want and subsequently have what you want in life, you have got to constantly get the info, apply the info, fail through the info, learn from it, reread it, reapply it, and keep going. And our coaching programs are extremely effective because of what we've learned, again, from what we liked and didn't like in all of the stuff that we've done over the last probably 8 years.
Yep.
And that's why it's progress over perfection. It'll never be perfect. You'll die before it's perfect. And too many people, I think, want to read and learn and grow and do all these things before they get to this or before they get to that, or I'll become this person before I do this, or I'll make this amount of money before I can spend more time at home. That was me.
If this, then that.
Yeah.
Scenario. Like if I have this, then I can be.
Right. And it's a terrible, terrible way of going.
Well, and what is perfection? What happens after it's perfect?
I hope people are watching this.
Why?
You know what's interesting? Let me comment on something, my beautiful wife. I love looking at you from across 2 desks.
It harkens back to a time where we were in a very small office running our real estate business together.
What it also harkens back to is the first day I met you.
Oh.
And that I just love looking in your eyes.
You know what's crazy? We met at a 5th birthday party.
A 5-year-old's birthday party, yeah.
A 5-year-old's birthday party. And this Sunday, our daughter is turning 5.
Ooh, that's wacky. I'm going to cry.
I know, I might cry too.
All right, so for real, I this new setup and scenario reminds me, and even though those were trying times.
Which times?
You and I sitting across from each other building our business, many years ago. I love this. I love counting on you as a partner. And what we're going to talk about today is the fact that we were partners from the very beginning. And it wasn't just a physical attraction. It wasn't just an emotional or mental or psychological attraction. It wasn't just like some surface level shit. It was a real deep connection. And the progress over perfection applies here because in my experience, of course, I was the first person you've ever dated. So yeah. In my experience, I had always wanted to date for ego.
Right.
Or for something else, for some other reason. And there's tons of them. And you were the first person, darling, that I just looked at and said, she's awesome. I just like her vibe. I like her energy. I'm just going to go for this. And I don't know what perfect looks like, and I don't care. And I don't need to be this person before I ask her out. And I don't need to have this amount of money because that was me before.
Right.
And that's the same thing we're talking about today. And it applies everywhere, except this is how it worked. Progress over perfection. Like, you got to just take action. Just let go of the handle and trust that the fall will not kill you. Right?
Right.
Like, you just have to let go of the handle and trust that the fall will not kill you. That's when people say, have faith and trust in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad's always instilled that in me. He said always, if it's meant to kill you, it will kill you. But your law of odds say that you're only going to fall so hard or so far. And it's going to hurt a little or might hurt a lot. And either way, you're going to learn something or you're going to win from it. That's it.
Right.
Nice and easy. So get used to the habit of letting go of that control and that mindset of it's got to be perfect before I can do this. Let go of the bar, lean backwards, let yourself fall, and just trust that there is a landing spot, because there is. And if you die, it doesn't matter. You're dead. Right?
It's true.
You're dead. And as you build that habit, when big stuff hits you and hurts you, you can deal with it so much better in a mental and an emotional capacity. You can deal with it in a better habits and skills and mindset capacity. Like last year, we had a scumbag ex-partner steal a shit ton of money. But you and I were so strong because we work in increments and like smaller increments and have built such a strong foundation that most couples who are in business together who don't have a solid foundation, it would have rocked them to the core. Plus, you were pregnant. We have another, we have Ellis, we have a kid, like we have businesses that, that business that was failing, other businesses that were succeeding, and then all of a sudden hundreds of thousands of dollars are missing out of an account. And this scumbag is nowhere to be found. Mm-hmm. But you and I had a 2-week period where we got to, whine about it and complain about it. And then we said, all right, buck up, let go of the handle. Like, this is what we're going to do. We have the habits, we have the skills, we have the trust in each other. Let's make this thing happen. Mm-hmm. That's it. Nice and easy. And so I don't know where I was going with that, but it all started from that 5-year-old's birthday party, which is our niece's birthday. Mm-hmm. It started from there. And I just had this trust in you as a partner. And I didn't need it to be perfect. I just knew that it would evolve. And I was disconnected back then. I felt very disconnected as to who I am today. Like back then felt very disconnected, but I just had this feeling and I had to go with my gut on that.
Well, you were I
was in a weird place.
You were. Yeah, it never felt. I don't know the word that I'm looking for.
Unstable? Not
unstable, but like, when we first met, there was something very natural about it.
Sure.
It
was just natural. It's just natural. So where do we begin? So today, you know what? Today we're going to talk about, which I think we already said that like 10 times, but
progress over perfection. Listen, in case you didn't hear it the first few times.
You're going to learn something. Just let us banter. You're going to pick something up. Well, I promise you.
I would much rather have a conversation than follow a
script.
Like,
yeah.
We have to hit this point and this point and this point. And what about this?
Well, I want to be purposeful for the audience because we get so much feedback, positive feedback from the audience, and especially on our episodes, that they really love the inside track to our relationship and the work that we've done and the models of parents and business owners and partners and married couple and just individuals that we are in growth and being purposeful people that, I have it's not an obligation. I want to deliver all the stuff that I think about that I want to deliver on an episode. So no, these are not structured. We come up with the topic 5 minutes before we open these mics up. So, when we started dating, it just worked.
Right.
6 months later, 9 months later,
yep.
I just knew that we had to lock this up.
Lock this up.
I just knew.
Sounds like a deal.
Yeah, it was a deal. I was scared because it wasn't perfect and I was broke and I couldn't afford the ring that I wanted to buy you at, in my mind at that time. And we already talked about the ring scenario and I figured out how to hack that. I figured out how to hack everything else that I wanted. And That's
Can you define hacking? It's just
look, I mean, at the end of the day, if you are in lack of some kind, like I was with my I had financial lack, but really financial lack is the result of mindset lack, skill set lack, habit lack, and a lack of control of fear that basically is running your life.
right.
A lack of the control, a lack of controlling the fear that's controlling your life. Right? Avoiding
Yes.
pain, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So the financial lack that I had, I wanted perfect on this one. Well, remember my story from 2 episodes or one or 2 episodes ago is I didn't want the ring because it was a big ass ring. I wanted something that represented where we were going, not where we were. And that was my mindset being pretty dialed in.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're talking about today is getting engaged.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a hack too. And I don't mean hack like a hack comic, you know, who's like just sucks ass. I'm talking about
You figured out a way to make it happen,
right.
without just writing a check.
Right. Yeah, which was my old way of being and doing, was just write a check and just solve the problem.
Throw some money at it.
Right. Now, at that point, it was I don't know. I have to level up who I am because money can't solve my problem right now. So I worked some really cool deals out. Let's begin. This is back
Day 1.
Yeah. This is back before, well, they already know the ring story. They already know the I love you stuff. Like, we've already gone through that.
Yes.
So this is, I booked this. You got to watch time, by the way.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. I don't know how long it's been, whatever. So I book a trip. So I wanted to do something really special that meant something, and, you know, in a space, a place that meant something. Back then, I wasn't keen on or aware that when somebody else wants something, it doesn't have to be the way that you want it to go.
Whoa, that is a revelation and a half for Ian.
The audience is clapping.
They are clapping for you.
And I also learned that on your birthday 3 years ago when I was in SELP.
Mm-hmm.
That I wanted to buy you all these things, but I wanted to buy them, like I wanted to take you to when we were going to go to LA the next month or later that month, and we're going to do this cool experience, but that's not how you wanted it. So back then I didn't understand that.
And not that I didn't want the experience, but it was my birthday, and this is if you're going to buy me a gift, just buy me this and just do it this way. Don't make a whole big thing about it for yourself.
Bingo. So I had the ring, and I thought what's really special to me was the Outer Banks, because I went there as a kid, and it's got a cool vibe. And if you've never been there, Outer Banks, North Carolina, it's a fine place.
It's lovely.
It's kind of touristy, but if you go far enough north or far enough south on the island, you'll run out of tourists. And it's really pristine and it's phenomenal. And so I thought, I want to do something big. I don't have any money. And I was eating peanut butter and jelly rice cakes out of necessity. Didn't have any money.
Good thing they're your favorite snack.
They are my favorite snack today. They're not out of necessity. That's out of choice. So I thought about it and thought, how cool would it be? I didn't want to just propose, because remember, we were in a valley. We weren't in a rut. We were just in a valley. And we'd come down from one side and we were going up the other, and the uphill climb was going to be challenging. However, I knew I was prepared to do it because I didn't want us to live some shit, boring, mediocre life. I just didn't. I had the mission that we have, experiences, moments, and memories to be out in the world as our playground in our classroom. That still was my mission back then. I didn't want to die with regrets, and so I I said, how can I make this really awesome? Instead of me just like, taking her on the beach and popping a question, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not what I wanted. I had a client at an airport down in Roanoke, right across the water, right across the bay from the Outer Banks. And so I called them and I said, I need a favor. I will hook you up on some shipping costs, because they were shipping little Cessna airplanes, like bodies and wings and stuff. And we were putting those in containers and shipping them out for them and another airport down there. And I said, I'll hook you up with some shipping, or I'll take care of you if you give me a discount or free on a helicopter ride. So they said, what are you thinking? And I said, I want to propose to my girlfriend, and I'm going to rent this Jeep, which I hacked that too. I want to rent this Jeep. I want to drive out to the middle of the sand on where there's nobody, because it was April.
The 4-wheel drive beach.
Yeah. On Hatteras Island. There's nobody there. It was a shark fishing tournament. So it was, it's very, very, very rare to see anybody. And I told them my vision. I shared my vision, which is another lesson. Another one that you should really write down is most people want to hear your vision. They don't want to hear your crazy ego trip. They want to hear your authentic vision. And when you share and are clear on your vision for the future and what's possible, you will enroll them in helping you. No joke. I do it all the time still. I'm hogging the mic.
No, you're telling the story.
I know.
I didn't plan it.
I know.
I can tell my side of the story.
Why don't we pause here and you tell your side?
Well, but you haven't really set the scene.
All right, let me set the rest.
Like,
let me set the rest of the
just,
scene.
Just maybe like fast forward a little bit to like actually, to kidnapping me and.
That's a really important piece though, is enrolling people in what you see as possible for the future. Enrolling people in what you see as possible. So sharing your vision. But don't share your whacked out vision that you just came up with. Think about it, tailor it, evolve it. Think about the pitfalls. Think about how you can actually make this beneficial for someone else, for them to help you. And don't ask for help. That's like sales 101. Don't sell anybody. Don't sell and tell them what you're going to do and how they can help. Enroll them in your vision, and they will be in, just like those guys were. And so I, got that planned. And this was fast too. This was like within a week, I think. Got that planned. And then I found an Airbnb. This was back in 2011. Airbnb wasn't that popular. VRBO was really popular back then, but Airbnb was just kind of coming around. I did. It was a VRBO.
Was it a Verbo?
Yeah. Verbo, but
Isn't
that wasn't.
They call it on their commercials.
It wasn't that popular back then. We call them Airbnbs now, but it was just somebody's rental.
Yeah.
For the night on Hatteras Island, and so we hacked that. I called, negotiated the price, and that was cool because it was April and it was cold and nobody cared to go down there. And then I hacked the Jeep. I told them how much money I had and told them that I would promote them or do whatever I could on Facebook or and again, I enrolled them in the possibility of helping me with my vision, and they gave me 50% off this Jeep, which made it like $60.
That Jeep was only $60.
Something like that.
How long did we have it for? The entire time?
I think 2 days, something like that. And then, so again, sharing my vision, which my vision was very dialed in at that time. And it's always, they're always being dialed in, but it was very dialed in at that time. And so my dad had encouraged me and he said, look, this isn't one you want to let go. We told you that before. Sold the boat, sold all this stuff so I could buy the ring. And I said to Mary, we're going to the Outer Banks this weekend. And a couple weeks or a couple months before that, when was that? When we were in LA and I talked to your parents when you were in the shower.
It like maybe a month before.
Oh, right. This happened fast, by the way.
Yeah.
This happened really fast. The ring, the plan. I just knew that this was the partner. And I felt it in your energy, in your beautiful eyes. And just the way that you looked at me. Mm-hmm. That was very special. Are you tearing up, Mare?
No.
And so that was it. And we went to LA to talk to her parents, we went to LA just to visit. And Mare jumped in the shower one day and I was so nervous. And I sat down with the snow party and I said, hey, how do you feel about Meredith and I getting engaged? And your dad was standing behind your mom. Your mom goes, oh, well, that's a lovely idea. And your dad says, oh, that sounds great. And I said, cool. And I told them my vision again for our life. And I said, look, I'm not in abundance financially right now. And I am in abundance of work ethic and desire and dream and vision. And I think your dad rolled his eyes, but
I've never seen my dad.
No. They said, well, that's good. And I said, no, I'm serious. I don't want you to think that where I am is where we're staying. I have a very big vision for my life and subsequently now Mare's life. And we'll put our visions together and we will achieve whatever we want to. So we're just in a place right now that's temporary. And they smiled and we had a little laugh and all this other stuff. And that was the time we actually went and looked at, oh no, that was another time. Never mind. Sorry. That was October. All right. So the rest of this is, I think I'm dragging this shit on.
Yeah. Just get to the.
So I put Mare in the car. I take this tent. I take all the supplies. I buy this little video camera at Walmart to try and video some of it. And we head down to the Outer Banks.
And I protested a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, Ian was like, on a Thursday, I was like, we're leaving for the Outer Banks tonight. And I was like, I have plans tomorrow.
Yeah.
So.
It doesn't work for me.
That's not going to happen.
Well, you got in the car.
I did get in the car.
You trusted me.
Mm-hmm.
And that.
Well, and I made sure that you were very aware that I had to get up in the morning to watch the royal.
Oh,
wedding.
right. Because it's the 29th.
Yep.
Right. So we left that night. Mm-hmm. We drove all night. We got in at probably 2 a.m. after getting 2 speeding tickets on the way down.
2?
You were sleeping, which is fine because I just listened to Howard Stern. It was fine. We got down there and I was so nervous. The next morning, I get 2 hours of sleep, maybe 3.
Well, because I woke you up to watch the wedding.
Right. It was the royal wedding, Kate and William. And I remember the only thing I wasn't reviewing what I wanted to say. I wasn't reviewing how it was going to happen. I actually was detached to the outcome back then. And I didn't even realize that until right now. But like the way that success happens is when you don't have a specific outcome. Like it's not this way or nothing. Mm-hmm. It's usually like the middle ground that you shoot for. And then the rest of it is the result of your work to the middle. It's like climbing Mount Everest. There's a book that says the guys that succeed are the ones that make the summit the midpoint and getting back to base camp the goal. And so the outcome was to summit and get back to base camp,
right? Not
summit.
Yeah.
So mine wasn't just to get, to have this perfect word, whatever, vomit to you. Mm-hmm. What I was thinking through was our life together and what I wanted to do with you and what I wanted to accomplish with you. And that this is just the first step in that. Mm-hmm. And so we loaded up the Jeep and we actually went and got the Jeep, loaded it up and went out to the beach.
Yep.
I set up this whole little scene with candles and
so much stuff,
wine and tables and chairs and a tent. And then the Jeep was sitting next to us. And I forgot to tell you, but on our way down, we dropped off a box of my quote unquote brochures at the airport. Mm-hmm. And you freaked out because you thought we were going to go skydiving. I teased you a little bit.
I would never go skydiving.
I know.
I do one of the indoor things.
I don't have any desire to do it.
I just can't hurl myself out of a plane.
No. So
at this point in my life.
Then we went out to the beach, got everything set up, and waited for the helicopter. But when I was in the airport, in the FBO, they literally said to me, it's too windy. We cannot fly today. And I said, if it's meant to be, you'll be out there. And I gave them the box with the ring in it, which stupidly, I told my insurance company I was going to do this. And they said, we can't insure it until you have it back in your possession. So if the helicopter would have hit the water,
or the box, if
the box, yeah, I would have been swimming through there during a shark tournament. So anyway,
they were baby sharks. You would have been fine.
We got out there, we're hanging, we're drinking wine, we're making food, and we're just enjoying each other in the present moment. And I mean,
you were a little nervous.
I was definitely nervous.
You were like slightly on edge. Looking back now, you were definitely a little edgy.
But that's one thing that we've done well, is enjoyed each other in the present moment.
Right.
And that's what we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was not worried about what I was going to say. I wasn't worried about what you were going to say. My only fear was, can I execute this vision? Literally, that was my biggest fear. I'm pushing this thing that's so big, that's going to be so much work to get us the life that we truly want. Can I actually do this? And so I started doubting myself that day about my ability, not marrying you, not anything like that. I just started doubting, like, holy shit, this is real. Like, this is the first step, or this is the next step in us being together. This is my partner. I'm locking her in today, basically. Can I deliver on the promises that I'm making? Because I'm talking some big game. Can I deliver? And the answer was, only because of you.
Because of me?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
We've already shared this many a time. Because of who you are.
Oh.
There are going to be people crying in their car. Because of who you are and you don't grow at the rate that I do. You don't do personal development like I do. You don't do any of that stuff. But your demeanor, the combination of you just trusting me, the trust that you have for me, not busting my ass or breaking my balls about stupid shit, or if I make an investment in something, or if I try something in our business and it doesn't work, not hounding me, not pressuring me, like allowing me to be so open with you about everything that I'm doing, and not worrying that you're going to judge me or be pissed off at me, but you'll just sit and have a conversation with me. That allows me to be great every day. That could be a Hallmark card, Mayor.
That could. That allows me to be great.
It really does.
Every day.
It really does. And we'll get into that a lot deeper in subsequent episodes. But so I'm sitting there and I'm like, shit, man. I texted the helicopter pilot the coordinates.
On your BlackBerry.
On my BlackBerry. For all you kids out there, you know what that is. Yeah, I texted him on my BlackBerry, because how do you tell somebody where you are when you're in the middle of freaking nowhere in the ocean, basically? You're just on a barrier island. So I texted him my coordinates. Yeah. And I said, if it's meant to be, it's going to happen. And if not, then this is a great little beach day, and we'll go grab the box. And again, I released the outcome of that helicopter coming. I released the outcome of that is the way that it has to be. And I also didn't figure out what the next step was. If it didn't come, it was, if it happens today, great. If not, I'm in the moment with her, and I'm out on the beach, and we're having fun, and we're doing our thing. That's it. And then I hear, I was like, holy shit, it's real. Oh my God, I got to do this. Oh my God, I got to do this. Mare's sleeping. We had this.
I wasn't sleeping.
You were. I had this 2-person, like fold out trashy chair thing, like a tailgate chair. I call them trashy chairs because they're like, you dump them in the trash.
Like a camp chair?
Yeah, like a camper chair.
Was I thought
you were
I was
sleeping.
Just lounging.
No, you were sleeping because
I'd been up so early.
Right. And the helicopter, as it came over, I was like, so what you can watch this. By the way, I'll put the YouTube link for this video, for our engagement video, on the show notes so you can see it. It's really sweet. It's really sweet.
It is.
So here comes the helicopter. Obviously, they hit my coordinates. They see the tent. They see the Jeep. And they hover in front, like over between the water and the sand. They hover back and forth. And it's probably 18 knot winds. Mm-hmm. So that it's a little dicey. And I wake Meredith up, and you go, what the hell's going on? And I said, oh, you said, what's going on? What's happening? What's going on? What is that? And I'm like, it's a helicopter. And she's like, I don't know what's happening here, but I do not have time for this shit. She thinks the helicopter's like going to crash or so.
I thought we were doing something illegal by being on the
right.
beach.
That's what is that? Border or Coast Guard in a Robinson?
I don't know.
So they hover, we're facing the water and they're facing us. Their windscreen is to us. And then they pivot over to our left over the sand and they start making some other maneuvers. And I'm thinking, oh shit, this too much wind for this little helicopter. The thing's going to go down. I hope I can get the ring box.
Oh my God. No, you didn't.
No, I was like, I was so nervous. Again, not for any other reason, but this shit's real. All the fantasy of us getting engaged and us being together forever, it's now happening and I have to perform. And so I was a little freaked out. And so here comes the box, gets thrown out of the helicopter. Again, you can see this on the video. And I'm like, all right, game time. So up in front of our tent between us and the water, I made a square as like a mark, right? I put this little video camera that could not hold a charge to save its freaking life. But for some reason, that shit ran for like 2 straight hours and recorded every moment out on that beach. And so I sat it down. I sat a wine bottle next to it just to kind of, hold it because it was very windy out, really windy. And I set it to hit the mark for us to come back and for me to drop on one knee. And Meredith and I run out to grab the box, which I ran out with the camera so, we could capture that moment. Meredith's like, what the hell is going on?
I did
what
not
is
have
this?
time for that. I was not about to pick up a box.
But I said, look, Meredith, it's my box. It has it had my company stickers on it. It had Ian International, Ian Global Shipping stickers on it. So you knew that it wasn't a bomb or some kind of terrorist threat in the middle of the Outer Banks, which is wacky. So we take it back and I said, let's go stand in our spot. And all I could think of is like, between this moment and that ring coming out, you need to be really fucking sure.
What if you had changed your mind?
No, not about you. I was definite on you.
Kidding.
Definite on you. I was, because you were my dating profile.
Yeah.
You were it. And you got to be real sure that you can hit the life. You can hit this. Mm-hmm. That you can do this. Not the marriage, not the proposal, not the forever with you, but the not living in scarcity, not living in mediocrity, not living in lack as we currently were. And that scared me more than anything else, because I knew that wasn't my fullest potential. I was barely fulfilled at all in my life. And at that point I was, starting to disconnect from like what was happening with my dad's business, because the economy was really hurting it hard. And I knew that it was time for me to strike out on my own. And I knew that this step, us getting married, was going to put me on that path. And it was scary. And the only reason that I could do it was because it was you on the other side. Tear. That's it. The only reason I could do it was because it was you standing there. I really at that moment in my life did not believe that anybody else could believe in me or support me the way that you did. I'm serious.
I know you're serious.
And so I started fishing through the box. I said, look, Mary, let's go stand in our spot. Again, you can hear this on the video. And I dropped the box down. And inside the box, I had a love letter, and I had a proposal written out, like this poem that says, it was called Four Words. I'll read it one day. I don't have it down here. I'll read it one day to you, everybody. And so
maybe it'll be a special Valentine's Day episode.
Ooh, yeah. So I started pulling this stuff out and I give it to her and she thinks it's like a cruise brochure or something. I don't know
what I listen. The idea of us getting engaged had crossed my mind like one time.
I threw you off the trail.
In that weekend. And then I was like, no. And then I was like, you can't, no, this isn't what this is. Like, we're just going to the Outer Banks for a
Two
weekend.
people hanging out on the beach.
And then I was
in April.
in April, obviously.
What were you thinking at that time?
The entire time, or just with the box? Because I definitely was like, this is elaborate to like tell me he's going to take me on another vacation.
A vacation to tell you I'm taking you on
Yes.
vacation? Well, that's all was going through your head at that time?
Yeah, I mean, earlier I was like, this is kind of questionable. Like, is he going to propose? And then it was like, no, I'm not going to even put that like into my mind.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to put like the pressure of that of that happening on this weekend, or and I like don't want to.
You know what else?
I don't want to have it in the back of my mind, and then like when we get home and it didn't happen, be like, oh, I can't believe he didn't propose.
You know what I loved about you?
What?
Is that you were not one of those whack job women. You can write to me, Meredith at thelobosgroup.com. You were not one of those whack job women. And again, it's something I just realized. That I appreciated you because you weren't looking for next steps because your life was boring.
Right.
Most people, we talked about this before, most people are looking for that next step. Think about it.
We've been dating for this long.
Right.
We need to get engaged.
Because you're bored. You're in the, you're technically in the boring valley. And this is my opinion, by the way. So just, write to Meredith if you have a problem with it.
So far I have gotten no, then this is not an invitation to email. No. This is just
No, I get the emails and the DMs. It's fine. So I appreciate the fact that you never pressured me. And I have a lot of friends whose girlfriends pressured them, and you never pressured me, and you never were like, my next goal is to get married. You didn't have any goals, like you didn't have any like visions like I did. What? I'm saying like I did.
Right. Like, you had big.
Yeah.
But this is why we function so well, is because you have the big vision, and I have the legit logistics behind it, the day-to-day behind it,
this is why we call this purposeful partnership, because that's absolutely accurate. What's another one?
No, it's not.
Nope.
No. Oh, I think it's like birds or
that one.
It
is it's so true. I love doing this with you because there are things that I'm discovering as we do this, literally in real time, that I haven't discovered. And so and I want to challenge people, because we usually challenge people every episode. I want to challenge audience. I want to challenge you to think about, if you're married, think about when you were,
or not necessarily married, in like a long-term relationship,
or in a long term. Well, I'm talking about the next step of marriage. So you have to be married.
Yeah, you kind of have to.
So what were you thinking? Like, who is this person to you?
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Just you can still be purposeful in your long-term relationship by deciding we are in a long-term relationship together. It's not like you're just like, oh, we never broke up.
Yeah, well, that's being purposeful though.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so it's not just
Yep. I agree with you.
Marriage. It's taking the next step and saying, okay, we are together.
Right.
It just so happens,
if you set it on fire,
that most people get married as the next step in their long-term relationship.
Yes.
Versus saying, we're going to do this.
But it doesn't have to be that. You know what I mean? Like, one of the things that I'm saying about us is that you didn't put that pressure on me.
Right.
I didn't feel that pressure. My dad and I talked about it. And my dad, he enrolled me in the possibility of what it looked like for the future to marry you. And also he enrolled me in what it looked like to not be with you. And I wasn't forced to marry you because I didn't want to not be with you.
Right.
I felt like, you know what? I this is her. This is it. This is her. She's checking all the boxes. Again, this wasn't about money or ego or goal or nothing. This was about, this is the person that's going to back my ass up, and I'm going to back her ass up. That's it. We're out there alone. If you think about it, like, we're entrepreneurs. We run several businesses. There's nobody looking out for us, and we have kids. So we're looking out for us and them and our clients, and, and that's something that we took on together. But let me go back to the whack job thing. So many people are programmed by society. It's not your fault, technically. You're programmed by society, in high school. Then the next thing is college. Then after college is, hey, where you get a job? What are you going to do? Then the next thing is, once you're bored with your stupid job, oh, I'm going to get married. I have a relationship now. Great. And the next thing, when you get bored with the relationship, oh, I'm going to get married. And the next thing is, oh, I'm going to have a baby. Oh, the next thing is, oh, another baby. Oh, and another job. And you go through these cycles. And I'm telling you this from experience because of the clients that we've had over the last, 8 years. This is what regularly happens to people that are not pushing themselves. They're just stuck in this little like conveyor belt, and they're bored because they haven't set a vision or a goal that's big enough for them to really chase. They haven't pushed themselves. They're not letting go of the bar. They're holding the bar and praying to God, praying to whoever they pray to, that something changes, and it'll never change. You have to let go of the bar and just trust that something else is possible out there, but you got to do the work too. You can't just let go. This isn't the movie The Secret. You can't just talk about it and it happens. Like, you have to do some work. You have to have some action. So I loved that you weren't pressuring me to get married. You weren't the type of person that, and there's plenty of people out there that aren't like this. I'm just commenting on the people that are like this. But you weren't the person that was like, hey, so my goal in life is to get married, and my goal in life is like, if your goal in life is to get married and be a stay-at-home husband or wife, that's totally fine. But you better own that shit.
That shit.
Yeah, you better own that shit. I'm serious. Look at that, Mary. Let me high five. Yeah, you better own it. Like, there's no default mechanism for life except if you don't do anything, if you don't grow, if you don't push yourself, if you don't read something or try and better yourself in some capacity, then you are on the default life to the grave, which is basically a treadmill that you sit on and you look around and you hope that cool scenery comes in and you hope that this happens, but your ass is not getting off that treadmill. And that's a problem. That's a real problem, Not a problem for us, but that's a problem in society. That's why we own a coaching company. And why we have this, because we hopefully, we get a lot of calls from people that were on that treadmill, or I get a lot of DMs from people that were on that treadmill who say, hey man, listen, I listened to you and, Dr. A, or I listened to you and Aaron, and I actually picked up my first personal development book. And that's awesome for us. Yeah. And that's why we do this. So getting back to it, thank you for not being that person, because you allowed me, both then and to today, you allowed me to just operate in my autonomy, trusting you as a partner that you'll back me up. Obviously, I make purposeful and somewhat smart decisions sometimes.
Somewhat smart decisions.
So
you're welcome.
Let's wrap back. So
circling back
to
the helicopter dropping the ring.
The helicopter drops the thing off.
Long road to get here.
Then they take off. I open the box. I pull a bunch of stuff out. She starts reading it, and then.
But what you also had in there, it was the letter, and then like receipts and mementos from like all of our dates and things that we had done, and yeah.
For those of you that don't think that I am cheesy, I can be
sentimental.
Oh, sentimental. Yeah. It meant a lot to me. I knew that I wasn't interested in getting married to get married, or just because it was a thing, or just because I was bored, or like at that point in my life, low point like that.
Right.
I could have used this as a crutch or like a excuse, but looking back on it, I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad it was you, Mare.
I'm glad it was me too.
Yep. So, and then I pull the ring box out, and Mare loses it.
I do. It was like an instantaneous. Yeah. I didn't make that noise though.
No, I couldn't hear you. The freaking wind was howling.
It was really windy.
But you know what's really interesting? Well, all right, for all those of you that are romantics, I pulled the ring box out, I opened it up, I dropped down on one knee, and I just whatever came out. I don't remember it. I can read my lips in the video. You can kind of figure out what I'm saying, but it didn't matter what I said. It just mattered what my intentions were. My intentions were, I want to take us places, and I want you to take us places, and I need you as a partner, and we want each other as partners. And so that was it. It wasn't that this person makes me this or makes me feel this or does this. It's that this person for me was a compliment and a partner, an ally, just a person that I could go to battle with or go on vacation with. Like you're everything. Not everything. You're all those things that I was looking for. Nobody can be everything. That's what I'm saying. Nobody can be everything to you. That's impossible.
It's not, nothing is, nothing. Yeah.
So I mean, I cry every time I watch that video still, and I made that video. Our passion and our embrace and the love that we have for each other that you can see in that video is pretty dang special, Mayor.
Pretty darn.
And we sat there on the beach for, a while and just hugged each other and just talked and I told her all the things that, that I've been keeping a secret and all these wonderful items that were in the box. And then to my surprise, the helicopter came back and started taking pictures of us, which they didn't turn out, but that's okay. At least
how could you really see us from?
They were only 50 feet off the ground.
That's true.
So anyway, there are so many lessons here that I actually learned today.
In this moment.
Yeah. I mean, there are lessons that I knew back then and that I've learned over the years. And there are some things that I figured out today that I never really thought about. And that's one of the big reasons why we're doing this. This is like, obviously we're personal development coaches and experts in that field and we want to be helpful. However, us talking about this is, multifaceted. It's for us to get it out. It's for other people to maybe learn or benefit from it, right? Educate, elevate, involve, empower. And it's for our kids and future generations to understand how we were the people that said, we're not gonna go by everybody else. We're gonna create our own path. We're gonna do our thing. We're gonna create the life that we want, and we want to teach our children and future generations and everybody that's watching us. We want to teach you, if we can, inspire you or help you. That's our mission. So there's a lot of different reasons why we're doing this, and we're learning something. Like I'm learning something every time we get on the mic because we're being open and vulnerable and talking about something that we haven't talked about in a long time.
Yeah, I think, and this is what we touched on, I think, in the very first episode we did together of like, how often do you really talk about these things in this capacity, not just like, oh, we were looking at pictures and let's talk about that day. And wasn't it funny how it was so windy? And, you like really get into what was going on and what was happening. And
so that's our challenge to you. Every time we seem to come up with a challenge because we're discovering something literally on this episode. We're discovering something that we never really thought about. So our challenge to you is go with your spouse, with your partner, with your business partner, with your parents, brother, somebody that you have a close relationship with. Go a couple layers deep. See what you haven't seen before. It's like the NLP tactic. Like see what you haven't seen, hear what you haven't heard. That kind of thing. And think about it. Journal it. Share it with somebody after you discover that, because you never know. Like when you discover something in your own life that can change your trajectory for the more positive, more purposeful, then you share that with somebody. Again, going back to what I said earlier, when you enroll somebody in the vision that you have or something that's been done or something that you experienced, you might change their entire world. And that's a pretty cool place to be. I got that from Landmark. I talk about Landmark every time. It's the best. And again, we own a coaching company, and I'm telling you, I'm trained by Landmark, thousands and thousands of hours. Tony Robbins and Landmark, but Landmark by far is the best. 2-day, 3-day
transformational education.
Yeah, I mean, look, our 4-day, our 3 and 4-day front runner events are magical and transformational, absolutely. And I always have to support Landmark because it's done such amazing things to help me
right
get to where I want to be and be the person who I want to be, be the person that I want to be and evolve myself. That I always have to give credit to Landmark. It's a phenomenal organization, and I support it through and through. Even though I own my own coaching business, I support Landmarks without a doubt. So anywho, that's it. Is that it?
Well, we got engaged. Spoiler alert, I said yes.
Oh, that's probably it's probably a good
what
piece
else did
of
we
info.
do that weekend? I think after we got engaged, we just like
we drove down to Howard's in Ocracoke.
No.
It wasn't that day?
No, that wasn't that day. That was the next day. So it was like pretty late by the time we had to pack up and get back.
We drove down the beach.
So yeah, we drove around the beach, yes, but then we went back to the Airbnb.
But isn't that when I found that shark with those guys?
No. That was the next day. So the next day we were up bebopping around the Outer Banks and found there was like we were driving on the beach and there was a group of guys fishing in this shark tournament thing. And we like struck up a conversation with them and like ended up hanging out with them for like the day almost because they were showing us all the sharks they were catching. And then when we told them that we had just gotten engaged, they were like, oh, let come to dinner with us. And we
right. Did we go to dinner?
Yeah, we went to dinner.
Oh my God, I totally forgot about that.
Hung out with them at Howard's for like
that's right
hours. And we like had to hightail it to get the last ferry back.
Is that when? But didn't we go to Howard's by ourselves? And I remember we saw the Lycoming College banner, and you were in a green dress. And we called Ellen and Gilbert.
Yes, yeah. So maybe we did have lunch there, and then Yep. And then we ended up back there.
Yep. Because that guy he worked for like Sunbeam Toaster Company, and I tried to get his business. Hamilton Beach. Yeah. Look at this.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. Yeah, I do. And they took a picture. So when you watch our video, our engagement video, one of the pictures of us on the beach, like with me, I guess it's dipping, right? Dipping you.
Yeah.
The fisherman. The fisherman took that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's our story. That's our next stage, next phase story.
What is?
What else did you learn from that?
That is an excellent question, Ian. What did I learn that weekend? Or from even talking about it now?
You want some help?
Tell me what I learned.
Oh, no, I'm just saying, you want me to prompt you?
Yeah, prompt me.
What'd you learn?
Funny. No, I think learning just in conversation with you, learning kind of more about your what's the word I'm looking for? Your thought process then. Like there were a lot of things I didn't know that were happening then for you and kind of what you were feeling about like the future.
Got it. You were learning that then or now?
Now I'm learning.
Oh yeah.
Some of those things.
Yeah. In all honesty, I'm telling you, audience, this is something that's really beneficial to both of us, because when you get busy, when you have children, when you have businesses, if you're entrepreneurs, whether you have businesses or not, you have busy jobs, busy lives, family all around, and things going on. This is what the work is,
right? As
a couple, and we know many couples that don't do the work. They live on the surface. The day-to-day, which turns into the month-to-month, to the year to year. And then you look back and 10 years have gone by, and the challenge is that you lose the foundational elements.
Well, you become everything, just you settle right into
treadmill.
Yeah. Keep it at a steady pace.
Right. And it's like, if you want, this is really wacky that I'm going to say this, but if you want a great relationship, you got to put the work in. What are you laughing about?
Because I was like on the edge of my seat, like, oh my God, groundbreaking.
No, I'm serious.
But it's, I mean, yeah, I think that, and I mean, we've been in that place before. And I think this is circling back to progress over perfection, is like, you get so, you're safe on the treadmill, keeping it at a steady pace.
Why is that, Mayor?
Why are you safe on the treadmill?
Yeah. Why is the treadmill safer than doing the work, than letting go of the bar?
Because you don't like, what if?
Yeah. I mean, that's really it. What if?
What if?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
what if this happens? What if that happens? What if? And I think most people are living by the fear of being alone.
Yeah.
Of speaking up. We know a lot of people like this that.
Well, challenging other people. I think in relationships too, we always immediately project onto the other person of like, well, if I say this, then it's the if this, then that scenario. If I say this, then he's going to say that.
Or she,
whoever it might be. And my reaction is going to be like this, and then his reaction is going to be like this, and then blah, 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 and you're in this like, and that all happens within your mind versus just saying, hey,
can we talk?
Yeah.
That is because of who you're
being.
Yes. It's because of who you're being. That you can't communicate what you'd like to get a different result.
Right.
And that's one big thing that we really help people with in our coaching business and the front runner events is you have to shift who you're being to change the situation. You have to, because who you're being from yesterday or 10 years ago is not who you need to be to get the change that you need in today.
Right.
And I know that sounds kind of wacky, but it's not. It's very, 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 very true. Just think about it. Take these notes. It's the triangle of growth that Aaron and I talked about last episode. It's the, last episode. It's the, it's what mindset do I need to adopt or get rid of? It's what skills and habits do I need to adopt or get rid of, right? Because there are habits that do not serve you anymore, right? There's habits that we had when we were 18 that do not serve us anymore. And what are you willing to do?
Right.
Don't live on the treadmill. Push a little. You don't have to go to the extremes.
Right.
But you have to incrementally go. And when I'm talking about letting go of the bar and trusting, is have faith in yourself that you can shift and grow. And if that person doesn't come with you, build your own confidence up and go on with your own. Go by yourself. Too many people stick around not being happy, not being fulfilled, not living to their fullest potential because they're afraid of being alone or maybe never finding somebody else. But why live in a relationship like that, whether it's a family member or a husband or wife or a long-term, significant other or whatever, a coworker, partnership, business partner, like whatever. It's all relationships. Become the person that can have the conversation and own it in a respectful and purposeful manner. Don't just blurt shit out. Don't just say, well, listen, this is what I want. Fuck you if you don't like. Don't do that. Be very intentional, right?
Yes. But if you do that, you must circle back
and apologize because things like that happen.
Have a conversation of clarity.
Right. The other thing as we're wrapping up here that I appreciate about you is that you and I understand that we don't make meaning of things that each other says.
And that is a hard.
We're going to bring that up on the next one. We're going to do a whole thing on making meaning because you and I are experts at that, honestly.
Of what making meaning?
No, of not making meaning.
No, well, and that's a hard thing to get away from, to learn, that is a learned skill, and you have to be confident in your relationship and yourself to be able to not make meaning of things to a detrimental level.
Yeah.
To like where, like, I don't know, it's a stupid example. It's not stupid, but a lighthearted example.
Something about me?
Yes.
Okay, good. You have a lot of them. You have a lot of them.
Ian, please take out the trash.
Oh.
I'll take it out. Ian, please take out the trash. I'm going to take it out.
I got
Don't
it.
worry.
I got it.
I got it. Ian, it is 10 p.m. Please take out the trash. I'm going to take out the trash. Ian, it is 5 a.m. Did you take out the trash? No, I didn't. I didn't want to. So I could make meaning of he's not listening to me. He's not respecting me. He's not, I ask him to do one thing and he doesn't do it because he doesn't want to.
Keep going. I'm about to drop this mic.
But if I don't make meaning of it, what happened?
He didn't do it.
He didn't do it. He didn't take out the trash.
Let's cliffhanger this. Let's do that. We could talk about this for a long time. People need this. They need this in their lives. So listen.
But they want to know what happened to the trash.
No, we heaved it into the back of Nick's truck and we took it to the dump. Because Mare said, because she doesn't make meaning and she doesn't get crazy on stupid stuff like that. She said, all right, well, listen, you didn't take it out. So heave it in the back of Nick's truck and take that shit to the dump. I said, cool. All right, fine.
Because I wanted it gone.
Yeah.
The day it should have been gone because our kind trash men.
We are incredible trash men, but it is very inconvenient. It's very inconvenient.
To walk to how inconvenient is it for the guys on the truck to have to lift our trash into their truck?
But that's their job.
I know, but
they chose that.
I understand that.
And
but
yes,
we could at least be kind and like place our trash cans nicely so it's easy for them.
The argument really should be, how inconvenient is it to drive down to the dump?
I mean, that is the argument. That is the whole thing here. But don't make meaning of the fact that he didn't take out the trash. His responsibility is still to take out the trash on the day the trash should be gone.
Right.
The trash was gone that day. He just made it a little bit more complicated for himself.
And the meaning could have springboarded into something unnecessary. Right. Listen, let's end it right here because we've been a long time. We are going to talk about making meaning in your relationship, in your business, to your employees, to your boss, whatever. We'll have a whole episode on that. But to wrap this one up, we got engaged, and we'll get you we'll take the next steps. The next
cliffhanger. Did we get married?
The next episode is going to be the beginning. So this is a December episode, right? It's just the 21st of December, 2020. So the next episode will be the first week of January, which we'll make that the meaning episode.
The meaning.
Yeah. And we'll take people through how we goal set and how we do some vision casting and some, like vision boarding, if that's your thing. Yeah, we'll be good. 2020 has been an amazing year. It really has. It's been a phenomenal year.
It has.
We had Pricey.
Well, yeah.
We started 2 businesses.
Sweet little baby.
Yep. You want to take us out of here? Great episode, Mare. I appreciate you. I love you. You're a phenomenal person in my life.
And I love you. And I appreciate that you took the trash out.
Wrap it.
All right. Thanks for joining us today, guys. Ian just handed me a note and it put a lot of pressure on me.
All right. That wraps up the Men on Purpose episode today. Now you're making it awkward for me.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean, you handed me this note and I started reading and then I got sidetracked.
That's our general episode notes.
I know. Yeah. Thank you for listening to us today. Stumbled over that word.
You said us. That's okay. Put a T on that and try it again.
Thanks for spending an hour with us.
Or more.
I don't know how long it's been.
Reach out if you need us. DM us. You can hit us up at our email is Ian or Meredith at thelobasgroup.com. Our website has everything you can ever need. Like literally, if you just want to have a conversation with us, just have a conversation with us. You can go to the website, ianlobas.com/apply. You go to menonpurposepodcast.com, find all these episodes in the show notes. But for real,
you got to hook them up with the video in the show notes.
Right. I'm going to get the video. It'll be on Instagram. It'll be on Facebook, and it will be in the show notes and on our website, the engagement video. What do purposeful people do, Mayor?
They take action.
That's right. So take action. If this, something we said today pissed you off, motivated you, made you think, made you scared, made you cry, made you feel something, reach out to us.
If your emotions elevated in any way.
At all, reach out to us. ianlobas.com/apply. You can book a one-on-one call with us. You can sign up and take a look at our next Frontrunner event. Obviously, with COVID, they're a little different right now. We're doing some online stuff. But you know what? We're going to fire this thing back up, and our Frontrunner events are powerful. Powerful. So anything you need, we got it for you. We'll help you.
So what's the challenge for the next?
The challenge is to sit with your spouse, your partner, your business partner, your brother, your sister, your mom and dad, and talk about a situation that you maybe went through 10 or 20 years ago and dig into it. I don't know. What's the challenge? You tell them.
Well, no, I think, but I talking about something from, I don't know the word. I don't want to say higher level because that seems like a catch-all a little bit, but like just talking about something that's not looking through a photo album and, oh, remember this and I remember that.
Right.
Like actually, like
it's not
this
surface.
Not surface. Like this is what, like, I was thinking we were going on a cruise and it was an elaborate way to, like, how would Ian know that if I never said that? That's an example.
It's true. All right, everybody.
But you know what I mean? Like, talk about it, what you were actually thinking and feeling versus like
challenges to you too.
Yes.
Challenges to you too. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, all right, everybody. Thank you very much for listening. We appreciate you. We're very grateful for you supporting us and downloading and rating and reviewing. And if you haven't rated or reviewed the podcast yet, please hit iTunes up and give us that 5-star. That's what we're shooting for. Remember, our goal every time is to educate, elevate, empower, enrich, and evolve your life, the information, our lives, our information, the people that we bring on here. This podcast is those 5 E's. That's what you can count on from us every single time. And I want you to hold us accountable that we're delivering. So thanks for listening today. And we love you. We appreciate you.
Talk to you next time.
Thanks again for listening to the Men on Purpose podcast, where our mission is to educate, elevate, and activate every man to truly live their best, most fulfilling life possible. To find out more about the podcast, our guests, or becoming a man on purpose, visit menonpurposepodcast.com and choose your most purposeful path forward.